right, hello everyone. I'm Stacy Kropp and I'm the interim dean of the Scott L. Carmona College of Business at SVSU. And today we've brought together a panel of our alum from the College of Business. And they're going to share some insights with us regarding some impacts of the COVID-19 crisis. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves first.
My name is Connor Dwyer. I graduated Saginaw Valley back in 2016. I now have lived down in Nashville, Tennessee for about 3 years, but try and stay pretty involved with the university because it was a pretty great experience for me.
I'm Mitch Kennedy. I'm a CPA over at Yo and Yo in Saginaw. I specialize in our audit and assurance side. I graduated from SVSU in May of 2018. So
hello, my name is Kimberly Saleh, and I currently work for Dow as the Global Talent Marketing Specialist, and I graduated from Saginaw Valley State University in May of 2016.
So to start out with, could you tell us a little bit about how you're being impacted, both maybe personally or professionally, by COVID-19?
Yeah, so for me, Dow has done a great job of allowing us to work from home and help us feel prepared and make sure that our technology is working correctly. So luckily my role, it was an easy transition to work from home. So I've just been staying inside and still able to join all my meetings through WebEx, which is the technology we use at Dow. And it's been different as far as just the exhaust from so many video meetings, but I'm so grateful to still be able to work and continue to grow and learn through difficult times like this.
So for myself, I work for GE Healthcare. I sell ultrasound systems, so it's medical device sales. I've stayed a little bit busy, but in my field where my normal day-to-day is typically going into hospitals, going into clinics, working with physicians and other members of the team there, I can't exactly go into the hospital currently. So frankly, my professional life has been very, very slow as of late, as there's just not too much for me to do. My product was on the World Health Organization's list of recommended equipment to diagnose and manage COVID-19 patients. So there's been some activity, but we haven't seen too many purchases. Most hospitals and clinics have frozen any sort of capital spending. So from that aspect, it's certainly strongly impacted my professional career. Fortunately, I do still have a job, and my job currently isn't in any danger. So from that aspect, I'm pretty fortunate. But other than that, especially in a sales career, it certainly impacted me. I think the biggest impact down here in Tennessee, we weren't hit nearly as hard as Michigan and the Detroit area. So we've stayed comparatively pretty open, other than, of course, restaurants and bars, things like down.
And then for me, it's been quite a different time for us. As auditors, we're typically out at clients and on site with them, talking with them to get their audits done. So we obviously haven't been able to do that. So we've been doing everything remotely. So phone calls, emails, online portals, just about anything we can do to try to get these clients their audit documentation for if they need loans or anything that those financial statements are used for that can help them get more money during these troubled times. We've been trying to help them and get through that, which has been a little bit of a struggle, but we're learning after a couple months of all this that maybe in the future we won't have to be on site as much. We're able to work more remotely with these clients and limit our exposure. If COVID does tend to last longer, we will be able to work more remotely and we won't have to go into the office as much. We built that trust with our bosses that we can work from home now and still work effectively. Personally, it's been very different. I personally live with my girlfriend, who is a nurse in the medical ICU in Midland. So she's had a lot of contact with COVID. Luckily, we haven't gotten it yet, fingers crossed. But luckily, Midland's also been not as much of a hotspot as Detroit. So it's been a little slower around here, but
So how do you think your SVSU degree has helped you to manage this crisis that we're going through?
I think mainly what it's brought in me is just that Cardinal family that we have at SVSU and all those friends and support system that we have. I've just always been able to reach out to them and talk with them through all this. And also, I feel like SVSU's just been a great help through all this just because it's taught me how to get through adversity and get through these troubling times. And sometimes you have those online classes, and that's really helped with working online now and having that drive where I might not be working 8 to 5 every day right now. Everyone's kind of working different schedules. So being able to communicate with those online classes and working with teams that aren't working at the same time as you has really been effective during these times.
So when I was a student at Saginaw Valley, I was involved in just multiple different groups. And so by being involved in extra activities outside of the classroom, it helped me be prepared to just manage and effectively do work through difficult times. So I think it really just taught me how to prioritize and to be agile. And so I definitely see that today in the work that I do. There's always going to be changes. And so making those adjustments and continue to do the work and do the best that you can.
For me, it's helped in a few ways. One, my degree is what really got me into the healthcare profession and medical device sales, and being in the industry and really seeing behind the scenes of how hospitals and clinics are handling the crisis has really, I think, given me a deep understanding of the severity of it and the steps we need to take to combat it. So I think from that aspect, without that degree, I wouldn't have that understanding. And I think probably a bigger way that it's helped me is college for a lot of people, I think, is a time where it's your first time really being independent, really learning how to take care of yourself. Being around an environment where everybody is independent and working hard to support themselves, I think prepared me for an instance like this where you're really out here on your own, taking care of yourself and understanding how to go about that. So I think that's where, made the biggest impact for me is that growth and development as a person and really becoming an adult. Because without that, I feel for the people who are stuck alone and don't fully know how to take care of themselves. So that's what's been biggest for me.
So what role have you played so far, or do you anticipate playing in the recovery? As we're starting to, I know in Michigan, we're starting to open up things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that?
For me, I think everybody's played a part, with social distancing and making sure to take care of themselves. Past that, I think specifically because of my field and what I do, I sell what's called point of care ultrasound. So I'm selling into emergency departments, into critical care, into surgery and anesthesia. So from that standpoint, one, providing health professionals the tools they need to combat this and minimize the risk of exposure to other people. I think that's something that's going to go a long way. And two, hospitals really generate most of their revenue from elective procedures, and the clinics are the same way. And a lot of those clinics are independently owned, really small businesses. So using ultrasound is a way for them to, one, complete the procedures, and two, generate revenue for themselves. So while the hospitals are kind of coming back up to speed and these clinics are reopening, I think that's a big part of a lot of people's lives, whether it's they need to go to these clinics and get things taken care of, or they're an employee or an owner of one of these businesses. Getting those back up and running is going to help a lot of people, get the care that they need coming out of this quarantine, where a lot of people had that ability or that opportunity. And two, I think that's just going to re-stimulate the economy and bring things back to a bit of normalcy. So being able to help just a little bit with that and provide people the tools they need to care for others, I think that's probably the biggest part I'll play.
For the accounting side of it, it's definitely been a lot of learning about the new laws that are coming into effect through all this COVID stuff. constant tax changes, constant accounting changes, PPP loans, because our clients expect us to know everything, even if we are just auditors. They see us as that all-around accountant. They can come to with tax questions, consulting, just about everything. So it's been a constant learning experience lately, just learning all those different things. And I do dabble in a little bit of tax on the side with auditing. So keeping up on all those tax laws and all the different deadlines and every changes like that. People are going to be looking to their CPAs to help with a lot of this stuff coming forward and what's going to happen in the next coming year. And a lot of businesses are struggling. So it's been a lot of talk about, do we want to dissolve the business? How can we save the business? Where can we cut costs without losing the business? And I know those are very difficult conversations to have. I think that's what's going to be the biggest impact going forward for my industry, is just helping those clients move forward and get through this.
My role, I have the job of what we're doing to attract talent to Dow, specifically through digital channels. And so it's interesting because right now at Dow, we're on a hiring slowdown. Just with everything that's happening, we're not hiring so much externally. And so when we come out of COVID and we'll have multiple roles, we'll start to see that pick up. And so I'll really focus on what we're doing for branding and to get out to talent what we're hiring for. So I think right now it's really, we're trying to show external candidates and just people externally what we are doing through COVID. So how our employees are being treated and our phase back into work plan. So that will be fun. Hopefully when we come out of this, there will definitely be a shift in all the roles that we'll have, and we'll have talent looking for jobs. So it'll be a different challenge. Right now we're slow, but it will definitely pick back up.
Do you have any message for current SVSU students?
Yes, definitely continue investing in your education. I was fortunate that during my time at SVSU, I was able to be in the classroom, like in person, but to be able to do it virtually and continue doing that instead of stopping, I highly recommend, because I believe in investing in education and working through those challenges. So obviously make sure that you're taking care of yourself, but continue to complete your education through this time, because you will not regret it, and then you'll be done, and then you can move on to what you want to do next with your career.
Something I've come to realize, when I graduated college, I immediately went into a development program with GE. And frankly, most of the other members of my quote unquote class within this development program came from really big name schools with really prestigious reputation. And frankly, I was a little bit intimidated. And what I'll say is I pretty quickly learned that Saginaw Valley prepared me just as much as any of those other schools. The message would be, take advantage of everything at SVSU, be your all. And if you take those extra steps to network and connect with people and learn more, it's going to pay off, and you're going to be just as prepared, or if not more prepared, with that degree from SVSU than you would any of the other big name schools you hear about.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Connor. And I would just add on, get connected with your teachers. I know I've spent countless hours in Professor Krupp's office. I spent plenty of time in other accounting professors' offices, just getting to connect with them, because they know the firms or the businesses in the area. They have the connections at those firms and the other businesses. So it's really important to go talk with them, and they can just be, if you're just trying to decide between two different things or trying to decide what industry to go into, they have a lot of that insight, or they can point you in the right direction to get you those insights that you're looking for. So like Connor said, really take advantage of those resources at SVSU, get involved, learn from everything, and never stop learning. The world is constantly changing, and every day you're going to learn something new. Just trust your business, and if they like you, they'll invest in you, and you'll be good going forward.
Great. So I just want to thank all of you for joining us today. It's very valuable for our students to hear from people that have been there. You've been at SVSU, you've been in the College of Business, and now you're out in the world. So I think it's great for our students to see that and see the success stories that we have coming out of the college. So thank you so much for being here.